Hi, Tom Cole, and welcome into the Steve Taylor Community Connection, and certainly what a privilege it is for me to have two stars here in our community, Mr. Steve Taylor, our unbelievable boss at Taylor Automotive family, and the undefeated quarterback, Mr. Chuck Ealey. So we have two community stars here. So I would move my chair out even a little further. Steve, you know, we were chatting. You have core values that you've run your company with.
Sure.
I don't know if there's an undefeated car dealer, but I think if there is, you're as close as it gets. So with the way that you and your dad have won in our community, the way you treat folks, the way you run your business, the way you treat employees, and Chuck has his core values that he used as a quarterback, that he used as a mentor and a businessman today. I think that your two core values match up.
I'm sure they do. And let me start off by saying I'm honored to be here between two local legends. This is fun. Tom says a lot of stuff, but I'm the one that's privileged to be here today with you two guys. Our core values at work, we came up with them years ago, and it was just an acronym for what we were doing every day, and we call it PARTY. It's real simple. We talk about our personal growth and development. We think it's important for all of our people to always be working on themselves. And we, you know, I talk to a lot of local kids too, and I always say, you know, you never stop learning. If you're done with high school and you're done with your educational career, don't stop learning. You know, grow to be the best you can always be. So we talk about P, personal growth and development. We talk about A is for attitude. And it's so important today. I think it's more important than ever having a positive attitude every day, addressing everything with that positive attitude. The big one too we talk about is R stands for respect. And I think in today's day and age, we're losing a little bit of that, you know, just in wherever you look. And I said, if there was more respect in the world today, I think it'd be a better place. So we talk about not only respecting our employees, our building, our customers, you know, but just other people around us. And when I talk to kids, I talk about respecting authority, you know, and I think a lot of that's gone out the window, unfortunately. So respect is so big in our organization. T stands for teamwork. You obviously know more about that than I do about leading a team, but I think no matter if you're part of a team on the athletic field or not, you're going to be part of a team in the community, you're going to be part of a team in your workforce. So we talk about being a good teammate. You can't do it alone, you got to be a good teammate. And then we spell a little different, a little funny at our dealership. We spell party with an E, and we actually have 5 E's. And we talk about energy, enthusiasm, excitement, and it leads to efficiency and effectiveness in your work. And if you can bring that energy every single day, I think it makes a difference in everything we do. And that's really what it embodies. So we spell party, P-A-R-T-E, but I always tell people, hey, it's real easy. You want to be successful in life, all you got to do is party. No, and I also tell the kids, now, hey, wait a minute, if I'm talking to kids too, don't go home and tell your parents, that crazy kid guy you see on the commercial says all you got to do is party. Our party's a little different. Personal growth and development, attitude, respect, teamwork, and the 5 E's. How's that correlate with some of your core values?
Well, we party.
There you go. That's right. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, we partied, but we also knew the time when we had to sort of settle down and live those values that you talked about by creating a good teamwork and working together and respecting each other. And I think the challenges that we went through are the things that most of our players that we probably come back probably live by and experience because of what we went through and what we were able to accomplish and achieve.
You know, both of you guys are always so, you know, humble talking about things, but where I want to get to is how you both lead people. You're both the same. You lead people, and it's a different task. You know, some people try to be, you know, the tough guy or tough gal, domineering, and, you know, micromanage people, and fear and intimidation. I never thought that worked. But you both have an innate ability to lead people, to show them goals, to show them how they can be successful. There isn't anybody that doesn't want to be successful. I don't know anybody that says, gee, I hope they kick the bejeevers out of me today. I hope I get hit by the truck in the parking lot. You know, I hope I'm in a cast. People want to succeed, but they don't know how to go about it. Both of you know how to go about it, and you know how to lead people. Talk to that a little bit.
Well, someone told me one time I was a great coach, and I said, man, I appreciate that. I said, but I'd rather be referred to as a great quarterback. Now, obviously, I'm sitting next to a great quarterback, but I think what I meant by that is I want to be the guy that goes out there and leads by example. I don't tell people to do anything that I wouldn't do.
Right.
And I think it's important to go out and show by example, lead by example, be right there in the huddle, roll up your sleeves, and, you know, get dirty with the rest of the team. That's always been important to me. But really, I live my life every single day by trying to be a difference maker. And you know this, every day I wake up, I have a goal to try to make a positive difference in someone's life. And whether that's an employee, whether it's a customer, whether it's someone in the community. And I think that, you know, just talks a lot about if you have that goal and if you wake up with something bigger, you know, to focus on, you know, it makes all the difference in the world. So that's sort of what I've done over the years.
Well, for me, it's a little bit different, and I'll give you a quick story. I said when I first went to Toledo, and during the period of time American history was going through all the stuff that was going on, the black guys would come down to the dinner, sit at the table, white guys would go to the table, sit at their table, and that wasn't comfortable for me. So I would go sit with the white guys. Black guys may say, what are you doing? And I said, it's my teammate. And vice versa, the other way. Because I think it was important for us to recognize that there was no difference other than the color of the skin, and that we had something we could build on as a team. And then as that began to flourish and grow from that avenue, it all became everybody. Everybody was together, and everybody began to continually do that. Not just because of that moment, but that moment was in my head to make sure that we live as though they are me, you know, in what I want to have happen, and that was very important for me.
You two are, that's a great analogy. You two are both quarterbacks in your businesses, in your mentoring. And it's interesting you mention it, Chuck, because Joe Namath, when he went to the Jets, he lived in a Pennsylvania neighborhood. He grew up, it was 70% black. Mm-hmm. He was like, you guys didn't see coloring. This is my neighborhood. This is the guys I played ball with and played in the streets and threw the ball around. And he went to the New York Jets, and exactly that scenario was what you described, Chuck. These are professional athletes, highly paid. They had the white table where they ate lunch and breakfast, and the black table. And Namath comes in as a rookie, and the first thing he did, and Dunk knows about this because Dunk's that way, he took his tray and went over to the black table and sat down. Mm-hmm. It changed everything on the team, and guys started to get it, that we're here for a common goal and a common purpose. So, two great quarterbacks, two great community leaders, guys. It's been an honor, and thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, and we'd be remiss if we didn't say congratulations on 50 years. That's an unbelievable accomplishment. Congratulations. Thanks for coming back to Toledo, share a little time with us, and the Undefeated Spirit, the Chuck Ealey Foundation. You're doing so much great work in our community.
Thank you for your support.
Sure, we're glad to be part of it.
Appreciate it.
Great partnership.
Yeah, we're honored to partner with you. Very good. Tom Cole for the Steve Taylor Community Connection. Hi, Tom Cole for the Steve Taylor Community Connection, and certainly an honor for me to be with two local legends, and I can put / national legends, Terry Crosby, and of course the quarterback, Mr. Chuck Ealey. Guys, thank you for being with us, and for the folks that don't know, I mean, Terry was probably the two best two-sport athlete in the history of the city of Toledo. DeVille was football, basketball. Chuck, you would have loved his abilities and way he could play. Dunk tried to sign him up for the alumni game right now.
Well, I saw him in the parking lot.
Yeah. You know what? I looked at that video last night. Cross has got in the I formation. We were doing a radio. I'll let you in on a little thing. We're doing a radio interview with Chuck and Cross and myself. We're in a parking lot, and Cross comes up with some great ideas. He's in a parking lot and said, hey, I'd like to get a pitch out from the greatest quarterback to ever play at the University of Toledo. So Chuck, being Chuck, says, sure, Terry, we'll do that. So he takes a football, they're out in the parking lot. Terry's got street shoes on, dress slacks, nice shirt, gets in the I formation. He makes Chuck call signals. Chuck calls it out, red 88, right, green, blue, sweep toss. Cross opens up, catches it, and it's just like the old days. He caught it, went to the tuck, started to turn the corner, and he started high-stepping. And all of a sudden he goes, oh. He blew a tire right in the parking lot right there. And from that point on, he was wobbling a little bit, QB. Wasn't he wobbling a little bit?
Hey, and let me just tell you guys, that was, I really enjoyed doing that. But I must be the first person to get a pitch out from one of the greatest quarterbacks, Chuck Ealey, and run 10 yards and suffer 2 hamstrings. Suffer 2 hamstrings.
Yeah, you blew a tire. There is no question.
No, not one, 2.
Yeah. But Cross he's a modest guy. He's a great player. Developed with some football, basketball. Incredible in all the Hall of Fames everywhere. Went to Tennessee. Chuck, All-American in basketball. Played with Bernie and Ernie, the show at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Brunfield and those NBA. First round pick in the NBA. Third round. Played 12 years in the European League.
Yep.
And Chuck, in one game in the European League, which is still a world record, Terry scored 73 in the game without the three-point line. And Cross is shooting from deep. So that gives you an idea of the caliber of athlete that he is. But guys, two incredible athletes, but that's one thing. What I like is the heart. You guys share, you're like Steve Taylor, you have what I call a true heart. You guys innately care about people, deeply care about people, nothing fake, it's all real. Speak, Chuck, about the true heart that you guys have. I mean, I've only come across a few people that have it. Steve's got it, Cross has got it, you've got it, Christina White. I mean, people that, they don't care about the credit for themselves. They're not looking for that. They're looking to help young people. Talk to that.
Well, first of all, let me say the thing that I got is from my mother. I mean, who was a single mom, had an 8th grade education, and she instilled into me the need to love others, but also the importance of for me to get my education. And the process of getting the education was not just about the academics. It was about life and dealing with people and say yes sir, yes ma'am, thank you. All of those type of things that build into a relationship that I was building with other people, not out of falseness, but out of reality, and expecting the same thing from them in regards to how we work together. So that began to create the base for me to deal with people both in sport and in business and every factor that holds life, and move on from there.
And I think there's a commonality there, and I'm not speaking for Cross, but I know that you were really close to your mom too, and there's a commonality here of the moms, making that kind of an imprint on your life.
And you know what, when you come up and grow up, your parents have a major influence in your life. And as you just stipulated, my parents were very formidable in my life. They taught me to be respectful. They taught me the right things. And really it carries on, but I wanted to touch a little bit on, you're such a great influence, not just in Toledo, Ohio, but throughout the world. People in Europe know about Chuck Ealey. Okay, because I spent several years there. And I just want you to touch base on, we've had some issues with the urban communities, and the shootings and the killings. So, you being Chuck Ealey, what would be something that you would like to express to our youth today here in Toledo?
I think one of the things that I found is how do they begin to believe in themselves and to value themselves? Because if you value yourself, you're going to have value for the other people else. And so the thing is, when you grow up in an avenue of poverty, you may not feel worthy. And therefore, you deliver a message that's not really meant to be in your heart, but is in your heart because that's what's happened to you. So how do we get the process, reality to change that viewpoint and the perception of how other people look at you and different things that go on and how you can stand above it. And my thing is how do I get the net worth of an individual to understand that they're valuable to the other person on the other side of the street.
Guys, it's been an honor. Truly, thoroughly enjoyed your wisdom and the exchange here, and the fact that you've dedicated yourself to helping others. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
That's the Steve Taylor Community Connection for today. Thanks for being with us. Hi, Tom Cole for the Steve Taylor Community Connection, and certainly it's an honor and a privilege to be here at Capers, one of the great South End legendary restaurants. Dunk, we've been thrown out of here a couple of times, haven't we? And Sue was, it's nothing bad. She was absolutely correct. Wouldn't you say?
We were helping other people leave, and they said, don't come back.
We were nicely asked to leave, but no, it's a legendary restaurant. Sue is fantastic, so certainly we support Capers 100%. I'm here with Tom Duncan, Christina White, Rick Longnecker. They are, in fact, the team for Mr. Chuck Ealey, the Undefeated Spirit team. And Christina, I'll start with you. We've talked a lot about Undefeated Spirit, but you've helped to drive that vehicle with Rick and Dunk and Chuck and really drive it successfully. Explain to the folks, it's not about winning ball games, what the Undefeated Spirit really is.
To come out of your shell and to stand in front of people being recognized for overcoming, or sometimes it's humor. It's not just all tragic, but people have overcome.
Right.
I will never forget one of our first recipients of the award was a young man from Rossford High School. He was a football player. And he wrote about what it was like to be on a team that was 0-35. And he challenged Chuck, but you know, I know you've got this experience with 35-0, and I know that it was really meaningful for you. Let me tell you about my experience at 0-35 and what he gained, and as a leader of, talking about getting knocked down every week, and his senior year they won a game. And what that felt like to be able to lead and know that his team was the one that broke that record. And we talked a lot about that 35-0 record. We don't think anybody's ever going to come close.
Right.
And people have come close, but we don't think anybody's going to beat that. But here's a young man that, through adversity, through being teased by every other team that they played, that it was a gimme game, playing them, to step up and then write about it. That we gave, he used his talent, his education, it's so important. So we were able to help them reveal a part of themselves and create memories along with that. And for us, that's what gives our work meaning.
You're always so articulate, Christina, and you know, I think part of what you're talking about is a teachable moment. And Bill Bradley used to talk about teachable moments. Everything's a teachable moment if you frame it right, and all of you do that with Chuck, with the Undefeated Spirit. You frame it right. You're always the heart of our organization. And we talk about a true heart. You've always been the heart of our organization. Rick, your energy and your drive associated with the university and the community, handing out starting the Undefeated Spirit shirts, which I think they can see here. Rick, which was a brilliant plan. You want to tell the folks how they can get a shirt?
Yes, the easiest way to do it is to go to Juke Mode in downtown Toledo on Adams Street, or at their store at Cricket West. And they're kind enough, John Amato, the owner, and his team at Juke Mode, kind enough to offer us a portion of the proceeds to help with the youth programs that Christina and Chuck and our team support. You can go to their website also at jukemode.com, type in Chuck Ealey, and that'll take you to the landing page, and you can buy a shirt online.
I tested it out last night. Well said, Rick. I tested it out. It's JUPMODE, and I can't spell it. I can come up with that. And you know I can't spell it, right? I'm not kidding. But I typed it in, and the Chuck Ealey Undefeated Spirit t-shirt came up right away. And you said so very well, Rick, that part of the proceeds are going to Undefeated scholarships for our kids that we recognize. So, you know, it's a win-win-win situation. So go online and get that. Dunk, you've been so very important in recognizing athletic players, people that have worked hard, maybe not always the all-city people, but people who have been team players, doing the right thing, positive, and you've come up with kids and you've been able to recognize with the Undefeated Spirit.
Well, you know, it's interesting. When Chuck came in, there was no Chuck Ealey. We didn't know him until he proved himself.
Right.
Like he said earlier, he sat down, he made 65 guys, 65 players, all leaders, right, Chuck? All leaders, and it's easier to lead when you have all leaders, but it went around more than football. The 35-0 has not all to do with football. It has to do with the relationships with everybody. And I'm saying, when you've got 65 leaders that all are on the same page, and Chuck was really responsible for setting that stage.
Yeah, so well said, Dunk. And of course, you know, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention you were a star in your own right. You were a captain on one of those teams, on the Undefeated. You were a great player at the University of Toledo, and a great leader, and drafted to play in the NFL. And you've always been a great leader. So we want to make sure that is recognized. Gang, it's an honor to be with you. And I can tell you that, I'm not speaking for Chuck, but I think something he appreciates and all of us appreciate is you're all so accomplished in the community, and you've all done so well professionally, but none of you want credit for anything. You know, a lot of times when you work in organizations and people are sitting in a room saying, hey, I didn't get credit, you know, hey, come on, how about it? And it's amazing to me that none of you ask for credit ever. All you're here to do is help kids, promote the Undefeated Spirit, and I know Chuck's really proud of that, and it's an honor to work with all of you. So thank you so very much. All right. That's Steve Taylor's Community Connection from Capers, local legend restaurant, and they're gonna let Dunk stay. I'll have to go, but Dunk can stay. Thanks for being with us.